Good evening, everyone. This is Wednesday's service at the Home Center. And so from the Home Center ministerial team, Reverend Joe Pinecoffer, he's given us our opening prayer for Reverend Jay this evening. Dear God, thank you for beginning to clear the smoke from our skies. Thank you for the peace beginning to descend around our world today. For the wonderful friends we are able to share our spiritual love with. On this Wednesday evening, we feel your energy in motion and love in everything around us. You honor us with Reverend Jay as our messenger this evening. May your truth and love for humanity be amplified through our hearts for our fellow man and be heard and felt around our world as God's love and light fills our chapel. Amen. And now I'm going to turn the podium over to Reverend Jay.
Well, good evening. This is quite an experience to be living in Oregon with all of this almost daytime is like nighttime. Nighttime's even darker. And I was trying to think of what to talk about today, especially special about every one of you. And all of a sudden, out of the book that I had, was this little marker. And I'd like to share it with you. We are many people, and yet we are one. What you do today with our thinking, and what we do tomorrow with our thoughts, what we do with our action, and our interaction with people determines the course of the universe itself. You are not powerless. You're not without power. And that was written by Little Crow and the Native Americans. But before I begin my talk today, I'm going to kind of talk about our set of woods behind this place. And I want to say that fits the people we call the soul sisters that meet back there in our woods on this property, and they charge it up with healing power and empowerment. And people go back there singularly and they can feel the energy. Why is it different? And I believe there's a ley line that rides through there with energy from Alaska all the way down to Mount Shasta. And when you're sitting in meditation back there, you can feel the difference. And how you use that energy determines what your tomorrow is going to be like. And there's also the drum circle with Reverend Madge Pinecoffer, the elder, for awakening the activities and empowering others, performing sacred work that we all benefit by. And what a neat experience it is to go out there and listen to the drums beating away and feel the energy afterwards. Awakening. It's for our connection. And because of that, I've looked at chants from all around the world, and they all boil down to about the same thing that we listen to once in a while around here is a Native American chant, seeking wisdom from all sources. And it starts out very simple by saying, East Ho, and it's awakening the needs to perform successfully this day. South Ho, reviewing the application of the wisdom received in the chemistry of the earth in my journey this day to maximize what I put in motion. West Ho, reviewing what else could we add to our evolution and advancement of our culture. Then it goes down to North Ho, and it's kind of like appealing to our Creator for greater wisdom and to be more effective in my performance tomorrow. And there's below Ho, come Mother Earth, give us all the nutrients and the energy of the earth to help us manifest on this surface what humanity, community, and all of us are here to perform for the evolution of our soul. And our physical body is connected to Mother Earth because it's created of it. Our soul was created by God's Spirit. And that's why the last we said above whole. Thanking God's Spirit for the opportunity to demonstrate the purpose of our creation and soul evolution. We often hear that chant out there, and when you do walk out there, you feel it. Awakening, awakening. And we want to set in motion a meditation that'll pull your talents out to help solve this forest fire that's raging in our great state. And for me, I sit out there where the soul sisters have their service, and all of a sudden I'm feeling a sense like I could almost hear the shamans that lived on this land before the white people came. And I saw this huge teepee going down over the fire, and it's like smothering it. And I thought, that's how we can visualize sending energy in and smother the fire. So I began pulling in energy and wisdom and courage, not only to protect the firemen who was out there letting their lives on the line, but also having the wisdom of how to attack this fire without destroying life, limb, or self. And I kind of let thanking the spiritual shamans of Native Americans for their wisdom, because they used to have to deal with fires that helped out here before we came. And how did they do it? I have no idea. But the idea of a teepee around it sounds like one way. And of course, the news cast the other day said they used to talk about Oregon was, all the people out here had wet feet because the ground was always wet. And now, because of the change of the seasons and the weather and all of that, everything is getting dried out, and here's another demonstration. This is what's happening. And I want to also thank all the workers who's out there controlling the fire. And healing is necessary for all of those who lost life and property. It's probably difficult to think of everything is gone and we have to start over again. But do we remember that starting over is an opportunity to build on what you really enjoyed of your last lifetime, and you don't have any of the memoirs of the things that weren't so wonderful. And one of the things that most of us probably forget is all the wildlife that was destroyed by this fire. Deers, raccoons, all the little creatures running around up there, burned alive. And their souls were here to help God do the work in the forest for life energy. And I want to send out a special blessing to all of those who helped the people by performing material, comfort, courage, energy to survive the challenge. And may you be rewarded 100 times whatever gives you pleasure, because you did it with an open heart. You did it for everyone that's there, regardless of the race, creed, color, or national origin, because you finally felt a kinship. And one night I was sound asleep, and I like it when God's Spirit says, wake up. And I said, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And he says, turn on OPB. And I said, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And they said, turn on OPB. So I turned it on. And they were talking about the DNA and about the soul evolution and everything. And they've traced it all back to 2 creatures that were created on Earth first. And when they started integrating, they brought them all together. So what if you looked at that correctly? It means we all come out for those two created souls, and they made it, and they made all of us. So some of us got darker skin because it protects us from overheat, the sun. Others of us got real light because we were in where there's a lot of snow, and we need as much light as possible. And those in between. And we had different languages and all of that to help us see the great creation that's going on in this world. Not trying to dominate one another, but why not use all the wisdom each one of these cultures that developed and helping them to survive. I often think about one of our islands we have out here, Hawaii, with the volcanoes, and they used to have to appease these volcanoes. And I'm glad I wasn't around then, because I think sometimes some people want to walk on fire to help appease and that's not the answer. I don't know what is the answer in that way. But this is a time, instead of complaining about the smoke out there and about the damage that took place and those of you who lost material things, think about a time to look together and say, what do we need to really salvage out of this? What do I want to take on to the next lifetime? What kind of foundation do I want my soul to evolve to? Think about it. This is why we're here, to be at one, demonstrating, making words flesh. And as we keep developing our kinship to each other, our souls evolve, and the Christ consciousness starts flowing over to all of us. Not just a few of us, all of us. And even these people who demonstrate in the cities, they're angry, yes, because nothing seems to change. We have all kinds of education, but nobody's practicing it. Yeah, read it all down. Oh, this sounds good, this sounds good, this sounds good. Yeah, yep, that sounds good. And that's what all the Father gets. It sounds good. It's time like this that we need to practice this Christ consciousness. And what I'd like us to do is just take a moment and join with me. Kind of close your eyes and see you're sitting in a circle with other spiritual beings on the same journey you're on. And one of them says, I am the East Pole. What is it you want to evolve your soul this lifetime? I bring to you a gift of entitlement, wisdom, chemistry, energy. What do you need? And all of a sudden, you look to the south and we say, I'm the south. It's time to review what we have done and holler out, ho, I need some improvements here, adjustments, place to practice. Then we go to the west and review all that we've done that day and what I could do better. What could I enhance? What did I waste? And then I go into meditation on the North Pole, and I feel that presence. I feel the presence of my Creator saying to me, come, my child. I created you to be on earth, to be my voice in a physical form. And it's up to you to demonstrate it mentally, physically, and spiritually. And then they say, you're standing in the middle of all of this. And down below, I'm connected to Mother Earth to heal this physical body so I can keep on moving and grooving and building and experiencing and making this a better world. And then I feel that whole, that completeness. And I pull in surplus in a pure form so I can send it out, connecting. When I pull in from Mother Earth, I am made of it, and I see my aura being closed. And all I do is collect on the outside in a pure form, and I send it off. Are you out there willing to accept it for your own empowerment? Are you willing to jump on board and say, I want to be free and unlimited? want to be a part of the evolution of not only me, but my family, my friends, my community, my state, my nation, most of all, my world. We're coming to the Aquarian age where knowledge is going to be primary, not brute force to dominate, but how can we liberate each other from the mundane things of life to work together for all of us to cross over. And I can remember reaching material one time about a tribe up in Washington. A whole group of braves get together and they stand in front of a line and they go, ho, and they got a whole area to race around. And they're on the countryside and everybody's running as fast as they can run, and they come back to the space where they started. And when they get back to the space, they stand there and just keep walking in space. And they keep walking in space until the last runner walks up beside them, and together they said, ho. And they all crossed the line together. There is no losers in this world. There's all these other cultures showing us how we can help each other to evolve. This isn't competitive in the sense I'm better than you. I've just got different genes, different physical abilities. But next lifetime, you may be the one with all of it, and I will be the one on the bottom. We're here more than one lifetime. And you, my dear friends, this is the time to prepare for whatever you want in the future and other lifetime futures. And when you look upon the fire around this community, think of the energy from Mother Earth being sent out there. All the ocean breezes and fog and rain come in and shut it down. Our thoughts, our deeds, and actions have power. And together, we can make anything possible. Won't you take my hand and join in putting out ignorance, putting out racism, putting out fires, putting out destruction, and coming to a point where in the spirit world we live in peace, harmony, and prosperity. And on the earth plane we should be doing the same. Come on board.
Arms around the world, around each other. Arms around the world, sisters and brothers. Arms around the world and we discover. Arms around the world, there is no other. So let us join in love and peace. A world as it was meant to be. And we will